Hey, my name's Dr. Ficken. Welcome to the Diamond Dialogue podcast. So excited. Brand new year, very first podcast, and we've got Mrs. Haley Wheeler in here with our awesome girls, Lauren Turner, Kabrie Parmely, to talk about specifically volleyball. Big deal here at Diamond. In fact, we've had some successes in the past. So, Mrs. Wheeler, why don't you talk about last year's season, where we ended, and maybe where we're going this year?
Awesome. So last year we had quite a few awesome milestones that we hit. One of the biggest ones that we had set our minds to that hadn't happened in a while was a conference championship. We, I believe, had lost to Miller the past 3 years. And Miller's a really good program. Tamara's done an awesome job. So that was a big goal for us. We beat them in a 5-set night, came back down to, had a really awesome win, had a really fun crowd, got to go into the district seeding meeting, get the 1 seed.
Sweet.
We won districts, proved that we deserved the 1 seed, which was always fun. And then we unfortunately lost in sectionals. So kind of shifting our focus to this year, we talk about windshield mentality, and we like to look in the rearview mirror to see how far we've come, but we don't like to focus on it. And so looking forward, we got some big, lofty goals, but I believe that the bigger the goals, the higher we can push ourselves, and the higher expectations we can achieve. And we would like to make a state appearance this year. That's kind of our big goal that we've set our minds to. We're just tired of losing after districts, and we feel like we can do more and we can give more. And the girls have kind of set their minds to be all in is kind of their theme, and I'll let them elaborate more on that. But we're all in and doing everything in our power we can to see a state playoff.
Yeah, so last year, talking about goals, we had Lauren Turner here talking about our goals for softball. Mm-hmm. And let's do a quick highlight on that. So what was the goal last year when we were on the podcast for softball?
The goal last year was to go undefeated and win another state championship. We ended up losing 1 game, but I think, honestly, that game fueled us even more for the rest of the season, and we did go on and end up winning it also.
State championship is a pretty big deal, right?
Yes.
So now that it's been your second one, right? And same thing with you,
Yes.
Kabrie, second one, which is a pretty big deal. So hopefully we can bring that in to the volleyball sphere. So girls, why don't you talk about this year? What's different? I know every year you're graduating seniors and you've got new people coming in, and now you're the top dogs, the seniors. Talk about how the season's going, the new kids that are coming up, and maybe the future of the program.
So I think the difference from last year and this year is definitely culture-wise. I think we bond a lot better this year. And since most of the girls were underclassmen, I think we've gotten to, play with them, and our sisterhood coming out of it has grown a lot. Kind of what Lauren said about last year about a softball game, us losing. I think this will relate to volleyball, but when we lost sectionals, I think that kind of opened everyone's eyes again. Like, we don't want that to happen this year. So I think the mindset this year is a lot better than it was last year.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also agree. And I think that some girls playing and then also just getting to see what it feels like to be in a state tournament and watch a team win state, maybe it was in a different sport. Like, they watch softball go through it, and then everyone's like, wow, I want to do that in something else. And so this year, I think we have everyone, every single grade is in it. We're all in. And I think it's really been great this year because we've had freshmen pushing us seniors just as much as they can. And it's like this year everyone knows what the goal is because we've seen it happen in other sports. So I think we're ready.
Yeah, I think that winning mentality will hopefully carry over into volleyball. And one thing I hear talking to our athletic director, Chris Kennedy, is specifically about Mrs. Wheeler and how much of a go-getter she is in practice. Girls, why don't you talk specifically about maybe her approach and how that might differ from other coaches?
So Coach Wheeler, I can say, she's not going to be a light coach on you because she knows that there's better things we can do. She knows we can go past sectionals because we never have before this group. She knows that if we can do it in other sports, we're just as capable in this sport, and she knows we have a lot of room to grow, and she's going to make sure we get there.
I think she definitely pushes us to be our best. She's not going to let us lack off. I mean, if we're going to want it, then she's going to make us put the effort into practice, games, like anything, in the weight room. Like, she's going to push us because she's just not going to let us fail on our own.
Yeah, Coach Wheeler has been able to see what it looks like to make a state run in volleyball.
Sure.
So she knows what it takes to get there. And she knows it's not just volleyball. It's your mentality, your mindset, and how much you're willing to do and other things like the weight room.
Nice. So fair to say high expectations from Mrs. Wheeler. Awesome. So Mrs. Wheeler, why don't you talk through, I know a lot of teams will head into a season with a theme to help drive focus and kind of bring everybody's attention together. What is that theme this year? How did you come upon it? how's that going?
Yeah, so last year we kind of had the nobody cares, work harder mentality because coming in, I just knew that we needed a culture shift on the volleyball department. Everyone takes softball very seriously, which is awesome. They're super competitive, and I wanted us to take volleyball just as seriously. And then this year we're shifting it to all in, and the seniors came up with that. We kind of tried and hit on like nothing is guaranteed, right? And LT is going to go play college softball. Kabrie we're looking for colleges for her right now for volleyball, but you never know when your last game is going to be, and it might be in a district championship or it might be in a district playoff or, goodness forbid, you tear an ACL or whatever. But not taking a moment for granted and being all in all summer, showing up to weights, not suffering, but essentially putting in the work with your teammates, because there's something to be said about when you do hard things together and when you overcome adversity together, there's a bond that makes you want to work harder in difficult situations as opposed to just crumbling and kind of becoming internal. So we really try and shift our mindset to be external focus and to have an I get to mentality instead of I have to mentality.
Sure.
And then just to focus on the other people in your circle, because at the end of the day, it's not about you. And we talk about all the time. It is not about you. It's about the people next to you. It's about your community and how you can give back to those people, because that's a lot more fulfilling. And ultimately, winning teams, championship teams, that's their mentality, and how they're successful is they're bought in not just to volleyball, but to the weight room, to the program, to the community, and they want to do it for somebody else.
Sure. And this is a question for the girls. I know a lot of our girls' programs have been so successful. What do you attribute that success to? And if you could package that and sell it to everybody else, what would that be?
I would say a big part of our successfulness is you see the same girls in every single sport. We have a lot of 3 to 4 sport athletes, and we kind of touch on the mentality through the whole way. Like, you're all in everything. It's not just like one sport. You're all in for Diamond, and it's the community. We see the past few years just came out, and like the bus rides, everyone coming to our games, our district games that are in Miller, and it's just watching people support you because you're doing good makes you want to do better.
Nice.
Yeah. I definitely think our community has a big impact. The last few years, from my freshman year to last year, I haven't seen that many people show up for a volleyball game or a softball game, a basketball game. Like, I definitely think them coming in and supporting us definitely helps us out.
Yeah. I mean, I know, having helped coordinate getting all of our students up to the state, I mean, that was quite an undertaking, but it was great seeing our community up there, our students up there, and then seeing the other teams responding to, wow, you guys brought a lot of people. So it's awesome that you have such positive support just among your peers and community. So Mrs. Wheeler, in case you didn't know it, has been going through a big life change recently. What's that been like?
Yeah, so I had my first baby June 18th, and we hopped back into summer weights that first week after dead week. It's been really fun. It's exhausting. She started daycare, so she's not sleeping through the night now, but
June
that's
baby,
okay.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So she just turned 8 weeks on Sunday of this week. So, yeah, she's still itty-bitty, but she's been in the gym with us all summer. The girls refer to her as our baby whenever she comes in, and she loves volleyball. Yesterday she was on my chest, and she was tracking the ball. Hopefully she'll be a little gym rat and like playing for her mom. I don't know. Might be too tough on her. She might choose softball and just be like, nah, the volleyball, not for me. But no, it's been awesome, and the girls have done great taking her in, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, well, bless your heart. I'm sure that's got to be challenging, just jumping right into coaching right after having your first baby, your first kid.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's exciting, and I'm glad the girls are responding well. So in closing, is there anything that you want to highlight for this season, going into the season? Yeah.
I think, we've tried to do some things to kind of amp up our schedule a little bit. This area of volleyball, it's competitive, but it's not probably reflective of the best volleyball in the state. So we're trying to go a little bit more towards the Springfield area. We've added some games like Fairgrove, Stratford, Springfield Catholic, Eldo, Bolivar Tournament, where we're playing some really big schools. I'm super excited for that, but I would just encourage people to come out and see the girls. They've been working really hard, and I think that they're going to be a really fun group to watch. And talent-wise, we have a lot that we can do with the lineup. I still have no idea what we're doing for the Jamboree because there's so many different ways that I could spin it, but that's a really exciting place to be and a competitive place to be. So, I would just encourage the community to come out and see all their hard work, and we love and appreciate all of their support. So.
Absolutely. Sounds like there's exciting stuff happening in volleyball. Girls or anything?
I think so. We have 8 home games, so make sure to make it.
8 home games. Come out and support your girls. Hey, Dr. Ficken, Diamond Dialogue Podcast. It's been great. Have a good one.